My wife showed up at my best friend's place with wine, and then everything blew up at home. My wife ended up saying she wished she married my best friend, so I left her. I'm Chris, and this started right after my best friend Tyler got divorced about 2 months ago. Tyler and I have been close since college, like brothers, and I hated seeing him crushed. His ex-wife, Jennifer, had been seeing a coworker in secret for months, and when Tyler found out at a party, everything flipped. The split got ugly fast, and Tyler lost the house and even the red sports car he loved. He moved into a small apartment by the river and barely sounded like himself on the phone. At first, my wife Claire seemed like she was just trying to help. She cooked extra food and sent me over with containers. She invited Tyler to dinner a few times a week and kept saying, "We're not letting him be alone." When Tyler came over, she'd sit close and ask, "Did you sleep? Did you eat? Are you okay?" I thought she was being kind, but it started feeling off. Then her phone started buzzing non-stop. Every morning at exactly 7, she'd text, "How are you feeling today, Tyler?" She'd send a quote about healing, then smile at the screen when he replied. One night I said, "Don't you think this is a lot?" She snapped, "He needs support, Chris. He's alone." The way she said it made me feel like I was the problem. After that, little things started stacking up. If Tyler was coming over, Claire would redo her makeup and spray that expensive perfume she saves for special days. She'd laugh louder at his jokes and find excuses to touch his arm while she talked. I'd catch her watching him when she thought nobody noticed. Tyler looked awkward sometimes, like he didn't know where to put his hands or his eyes. Last Tuesday I got home early, around 3 p.m., and the house was weirdly quiet. I walked in and found Claire on the couch with tears on her face. Tyler was right beside her, holding her hand and rubbing her back in slow circles. When I said, "What's going on?" Tyler let go fast, like he'd been caught. Claire wouldn't look at me. She stared at the carpet and said, "Work was hard." When I asked what happened, she just shook her head and said, "I'm worried about Tyler. He's lonely all the time." I stood there thinking, why is my wife crying to my best friend like I'm not even here? That night in bed, she kept talking about him. "Tyler's changed," she said. "He's so emotionally open now. He's vulnerable in a good way." I asked, "Why are you telling me this?" She sighed and said, "Because you don't see him the way I do." My stomach dropped. It didn't sound like support anymore. It sounded like a crush she wasn't even trying to hide, and I hated it. Over the next few days, it got worse. If Tyler didn't reply fast, Claire would refresh her messages and get snappy with me. If I suggested he might need space, she'd say, "So you want him to suffer alone?" She offered to go check on him without me. I said no, and she rolled her eyes. One evening, I walked past the kitchen and heard her whispering on the phone, "I'm here for you, always." When she saw me, she ended the call and smiled like nothing happened. Friday night, around 8 p.m., my phone rang. It was Tyler, and his voice sounded tight. He said, "Chris, I need to tell you something before it gets worse." I stood up so fast my chair scraped the floor. He took a breath and said, "Claire showed up at my apartment uninvited with a bottle of red wine. She said she had to check on me in person." My face went cold. Tyler rushed on, "I told her she didn't need to do that, and she moved close and tried to kiss me." I asked, "What did you do?" He said, "I stopped her and told her to go home." I thanked him and hung up. My hands were shaking, but my head felt clear. I walked into the living room and Claire was on the couch watching Netflix like it was a normal night. I said, "Tyler called me." She muted the TV without turning around. She didn't deny it. She just said, "He's overwhelmed." I was trying to comfort him. I said, "By kissing him?" She finally faced me, annoyed, and said, "It was a moment." I stared at her and said, "Do you have feelings for him?" She hesitated, then said, "I can't control how I feel." My chest tightened. I said, "Say it clearly." She crossed her arms and said, "Sometimes I think I picked the wrong guy. Tyler listens. Tyler understands me." She swallowed, then added, "I think my life would be different if I married him." I didn't yell. I didn't beg. I just nodded once and said, "Okay." I walked to our bedroom, pulled a suitcase out, and tossed it on the bed. Claire followed me, now acting like I was being dramatic. "You're really doing this?" she asked. I said, "Yes. Pack your bags tonight. You can go play support hero from somewhere else." She scoffed, but when I set the suitcase by the front door and opened it, her face finally changed. Now my friends are saying I overreacted by kicking her out. Was I wrong?